All right, welcome back to the Encanto. We just said it, and I forgot it already. The Encanto Experience. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Shawn McClondon's in the house. If you clicked on the Encanto Experience and bought your tickets, you'll see that Sister Cities was behind this thing, and we appreciate you, brother, for supporting Brooke and coming through with the. I mean, me and you, we've been up and down in Encanto, Southeast San Diego forever. Like, forever. Wait, when do I want to say we was up back in my Workforce Partnership days, right? When we was doing programs
way back, youth campaigns. Yeah. The first nonprofit that I ran. Yep. So we go way. That was 2014.
Man, and you still doing it. It's on.
Okay.
You just can't hear yourself.
I'm sorry.
See, that's when you know.
I don't even the technology.
He used to be on the loudspeaker. He wants some applause too. Can we get
this week? You know, you used to a man who go on stage to speak. He's like, I can't.
You know, you were a professional public speaker.
Is this thing on? My mic sound nice. Check one.
Technology passed me by, man. I get it. I see how it is.
Mm-hmm. But for the people who may be interacting with Shawn McClondon for the first time, Sister Cities Project, tell us about Sister Cities Project. What is Sister Cities Project?
So it's something that I started in 2020, right after George Floyd happened. And I had started a nonprofit in 2014, as I was saying. And with COVID, I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do with a nonprofit. When George Floyd happened, I decided I wanted to do something different. I was living in Solana Beach, so as most of you may or may not know, one of the very few Black people in Solana Beach. But I was a member of the community. I was active. And because I was in the community walking around all the time, I realized that I wanted to do something that would partner affluent communities with underserved communities.
Nice.
Because being in that community, I realized there was misunderstandings between people, right? I realized that all the isms happen when there was just not an understanding. So I decided let's partner people that are very different. And that's kind of the idea behind Sister Cities Project. I was living in Solana Beach, but doing a program in Southeast San Diego. So that was the first partnership. It was Southeast San Diego and Solana Beach. It has since expanded to Solana Beach, Del Mar, Carmel Valley with Southeast San Diego. And then we also have Encinitas and City Heights. And what we do is we just build organic relationships between people based on different industry, like workforce development, business growth. We have a whole private online community of Black women entrepreneurs that we support. Brooke Collins is one of those entrepreneurs. That's how that all happened. And then we have what's called Community Connections, which is we have a discussion forum between the communities that we partner. And we have, topics around racial equity. So we talked about redlining, race, of course, DEI, topics like that. So it's been 5 years now. And, that was the premise. And we're still going strong. So. Mm-hmm.
My question would be, what's next? I mean, it seems to me, that's powerful, right? You're talking about San Diego County, one of the third largest counties in the country, right?
Right.
And so there's a lot that can be done with the Sister Cities type project, but it seems to me that you've got a vision for the whole county.
Right.
And so what's the next move?
Well, really, when I started, the vision is for all the United States.
I love it.
Yeah. So when the crux of it is having discussions between people that are really different, right? So if we can really start to have those, like right now, in our environment in America right now, the biggest problem is we have sides that don't talk. So when I started this, I said the biggest thing we need to do is get people to talk and understand one another that are from these different communities. So we started with just the discussions, and the real goal is at some point we're building an ecosystem that in those three areas that basically can uplift an underserved community.
Yeah.
So the goal is to take that ecosystem and drop it in different communities throughout the United States, because we feel like if you can just get a few people talking, what that does, it creates a ripple effect. So if we can have this in 32 states across the country, it creates a ripple effect where more people are talking. And then we start to get to ending racism and big things like that.
Sure. Okay, so if I can, I'm not trying to get too deep. I want to ask a more difficult question. Yes, we're talking about uplifting the underserved community.
Mhm.
What's in it for the affluent community?
Yeah. Well, there's the way I look at it. There are a couple of ways of looking at that, right? I think for anyone who is Black or from an underserved community or from a minority group, we understand that there is culture there, right? There is a very rich culture there. So I would say one of the arguments is they get invited into this very rich culture,
Yes.
right? Just like we're doing right now. You know, people look at Encanto one way and other people look at it a different way, right? We look at it, I look at it, we probably look at it, it's a place to come down, get different food, meet different people, style, right? Swag, all those things that, people talk
They
about.
get some seasoning on it. Get some seasoning.
I love
break
that
it down
answer.
to the basics, get some seasoning.
Get some
right.
seasoning.
I love that
Right.
answer because you're talking about the value, right? So now we're sharing value between the two communities. Even if one isn't, the value doesn't necessarily have to be a dollar figure. The value can be something much larger because you're talking about probably the most influential culture in the world.
Right.
It doesn't have to be just a dollar figure, but if y'all come down here, we appreciate y'all patronizing with all our Black-owned businesses.
Right.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
We'll take some dollars.
Yeah.
Well, here's part of that too is the thing of, so doing something like this is about bringing economic dollars here, right? And part of our goal is about equity, right? If all communities were a little more equitable, we all win.
That's right.
So that's a small part of it too.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That's brilliant, brother.
And I think that's what really drew me to Brooke's vision when she was on the podcast. She's like, listen, we get these people to come out here, have conversations, open minds, open hearts, and open wallets too at the same time, right?
There we go.
And they everybody comes away better with a new experience and a new frame of work on life and the communities that they don't often visit, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm interested in how the conversation starts, right? Because when we talk about these important conversations, one of the things I've always learned growing up is that if you broke it down to the smallest compound, it happens at the dinner table, right? You break bread. You break bread and you start to understand each other better. If you don't invite people to your dinner table, you're not going to understand them very well because you don't know how they eat, how they partake.
Right.
But I am interested in, as you're pairing up the cities and how you start the conversation, how does that conversation start?
Well, I think the most important thing to understand is that when we have these conversations, it starts with people that are coming, that are open, right?
Right.
So everyone that's in the room is open.
Good.
And I think the second part is we've always been really good at making sure we help people understand that this was a safe space.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That, some people might look at it as a question as dumb, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you want to make sure that people have the ability to ask that question because that's how you grow. You need to be able to, make a mistake. You need to be able to say something that maybe some people may not like.
Yes.
Right. And make the situation uncomfortable so we can get to a space of learning and growing. So, and making it safe, it's this weird thing where making it safe is also saying this may be uncomfortable. Right. So everyone already has a frame of reference for, it might get a little uncomfortable in here.
Yeah.
And it has gotten uncomfortable.
I bet.
But I think everyone walks away because of that. They walk away better.
But I think the key is learning how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, because you made me think of, so I'm gonna take you back a little bit. Remember, it was right after George Floyd, and we went to that library.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what's the book? What's the name of the book? Is it The Sum of Us?
The Sum of Us.
The Sum of Us. So it was the book that I think San Diego had chose for the year that was going to be the book club. Everybody's going to read and have books.
Okay.
Me and Shawn was on the panel. I didn't know he was going to be on the panel either. And then all these older white ladies showed up, and I was like, ooh, I don't know what this conversation's going to be like.
Right, yeah. That always makes it a little interesting.
But it was a good conversation.
It was great.
How did you feel about that at the end of the conversation? How did you feel about it?
See, the way I think I look at those types of conversations now is like, it only takes a seed, right? So for me, it's always important. Like even when we have huge groups of people that come to listen, all I'm really like, all I really care about is that one person is sitting in the audience and something is said that plants a seed in their brain that says, I'm going to look at this differently now. Right. So that's it. So that person goes home with their family, because that's like you said, that's where it really happens. They go home one day with their family or with their kids, and let's take a white person, right? Maybe that after that, they say something different to their kid that's going to grow up and be an adult in this community, right? So that to me is what's really important. So when we'll have a discussion like that, like if I see a light bulb come on, like I'm happy because there's somebody's going to walk away and do something different that day.
You know, the beautiful thing I love about you connecting sister cities is, and we get this from being in Southeast San Diego and doing the work here. Some of these kids ain't never been to the beach, or some people, not even kids, adults, have never been to the beach. Nobody goes above the 8. And because of sister cities, like I start seeing more people like going to the beach and past the 8, right?
Yeah.
Because they not have these connections. So it's not a one-way thing. It's the culture is now expanding both ways, and that's what I love about what you're doing. Give me a feel-good story of what you've been able to see from different connections or these different connection events that have been going on.
Well, I have a bunch of them, but I like to tell this story. So I had a friend. So when I was in Solana Beach, I worked out of Starbucks for 15 years straight, literally 9 to 5 every day. I was at the Starbucks down the street from my house. And I sat at this big, long table every day. And, after 15 years, you get to know people, right? So people come in and say hello. And for like 4 years, there was this one guy that would sit to my right every single day, Greg. And he was this white guy, right? Every single day. But for 3 years, we never really talked. Maybe 5, 6 years in, we start to talk. We start to get to know each other and we became friends, right? So now he's showing up and, we're sitting there, we're having conversations and everything. And then I started Sister Cities, or, thinking about the very beginnings of Sister Cities. And, when we started having those early events, he would always say, I'm going to come. He would never come. And after a while, I stopped asking him, right? So finally, he comes to an event. And what happened is he showed up, and another guy from Southeast San Diego, big dude, big black dude. Greg's from Solana Beach. He grew up in Solana Beach. Greg says something at one of our events that was very like a privileged comment. I forgot what the actual comment. Well, one of those comments. So you're not,
it was natural to him,
right? He doesn't know. Well, Kamal goes off on. I'm sorry, I didn't want to say his name, but anyway, he goes like, cause he probably gonna walk in right now. Anyway, he goes off on him, not off on like, but angrily, but kind of just trying to educate him on the point that he made.
Yeah,
and it really it made Greg really uncomfortable, and Greg actually left. So Greg leaves, and actually, when I show up at Starbucks for 3 days, Greg didn't show up. So on the 4th day, Greg comes in and he's like, I thought he was going to, say something about the event.
Sure.
And he does it. He goes, I want to tell you something. He goes, I go to this meet 5 friends there was a brewing company down the street in Solana Beach. He said, we've been meeting for 15 years, once a week, and we've been having discussions. He said, for the first time after 15 years, I realized that our discussions were inappropriate. That a lot of racist things were being said in our discussions that I never realized until this whole thing happened. And he said, I actually said something to my friends that maybe we shouldn't be talking this way. And that to me is exactly what needs to happen, right? Like these are all, the 7 white guys in an affluent community saying, talking racist, not even knowing that they're doing it, but finally that seed in his head gets him to say something different after 15 years. So that to me probably has been one of the most beautiful things that I've seen happen, through the whole Social Cities project.
He had to be in the room. He had to be in the room to see the reaction.
Right.
Shout out Kamal.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever the guy
name
was,
right?
unknowingly guy that checked the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful. Well, you know what? What I really appreciate about you, Shawn, is that you're having the difficult conversations and you're willing to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Face them and get right in there with it, and because that's what we need. And so thank you. How do people find the Sister Cities Project?
The website, it's sistercitiesproject.com. So Sister Cities, plural, project.org. .org. Go to the website. Everything's there. So you can find us. Mm-hmm.
Sister Cities, ladies and gentlemen, Shawn McClondon. Y'all make sure y'all support. That's how Encanto experience came
You are
to
now
be.
getting the
I know you are
Encanto
now getting the
experience.
experience. And we're going to wrap this up and stay tuned for more artistry, more dopeness. No pun intended, or yes, pun intended. Peace.
Hey.